Hello and welcome back to another marvelous anime video. Before modern hits like Attack on Titan or Made in Abyss took over dark fantasy, there were older shows that shaped what the genre is today. The first traces of dark fantasy anime appeared in the late 80s and early 90s. These stories brought horror, myth, and tragedy into animation when few others did. They were bold and often violent. They questioned faith, power, and the nature of good and evil. Many were released straight to VHS or aired late at night, which kept them hidden from most viewers. Even so, they set the tone for what would come later. They proved that fantasy could carry weight and emotion. They gave rise to the underground fan culture that kept these stories alive for decades. So, let's look back at the 11 forgotten dark fantasy anime that shaped the 90s underground scene. Before we get into this list though, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to the channel. It's a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. RG Veda, 1991 to 92. Before Clamp became known for Cardcaptor Sakura and X 1999, they created RG Veda. It was a dark fantasy epic that had mythology and tragedy. The story takes place in the heavens. Tai-Shakutin, the god of thunder, kills the heavenly emperor and takes the throne. His rule is cruel and violent. Before his death, the stargazer, Kuyo, delivers a prophecy. 6 stars will rise against the heavens. They will defy fate and bring chaos to the divine order. 300 years later, the northern guardian, Yashao, finds a sleeping child named Ashura. The child is the last of a destroyed clan and is tied to the prophecy. Yashao believes Ashura is the key to ending Tai-Shakutin's reign. He frees the child and sets out to find the remaining 6 stars. On their journey, they meet Soma, Ryuo, and Karurao. Each of them has its own kingdom and reason to fight. They're guided by Kujaku, a wandering figure who appears when needed. His motives are unclear. Although his knowledge is deep, Ashura appears gentle and innocent, but beneath this surface is a darker nature that wishes for blood and destruction. The battle between good and evil wove the fabric of this story. Their faith is tested once the 6 stars finally unite. Kendapa-o, one of their trusted allies, is revealed to be loyal to Tai-Shakutin. This betrayal awakens Ashura's true form, the god of war. RG Veda stood out in the early 90s for its tragic tone and mythic scale. It left a mark on the underground anime scene with its story of destiny and gods who fall to their own power. 3x3 Eyes, 1991 to 96. 3x3 Eyes follows Pi. She's the last living Sanjian Ankara, a race of 3-eyed beings. Pi wants to become human and leave her cursed past behind. To do that, she must find a magical relic called the Ningen Nozo. She travels to Tokyo to search for it, but soon after she arrives, a thief steals her bag and cane. A teenager named Yakumo chases the thief and gets her bag back, but the cane is gone. Pi later learns that Yakumo is the son of Professor Fuji. He was an archaeologist she once met in Tibet. The professor had helped her look for the Ningen before he fell ill and died. In her bag, Pi carries his last letter to his son. The letter asks Yakumo to help Pi finish her quest. Yakumo doubts his father's story about Pi being a monster, but he still agrees to help. Their talk is interrupted when the news reports a giant flying creature over the city. Pi realizes it's Takuhi, her pet, released from the cane by the thief. She runs to stop it and Yakumo follows. When Takuhi dives towards Pi, Yakumo thinks it's attacking her and pushes her away. The creature kills him, but Pi refuses to lose him. Her third eye opens and she absorbs Yakumo's soul. He comes back to life as her immortal companion known as a Wu. Now their lives are tied, and Yakumo can only become human again if Pi does. Together they face monsters and demons from the shadow world. Others want the Ningen no Zo. If Pi dies, Yakumo dies too. Their journey becomes a fight to protect each other and break the curse. Doomed Megalopolis, 1991 to 92. Doomed Megalopolis tells a story of spiritual war in early 20th century Tokyo. The story opens in modern Tokyo. A narrator explains how the spirit of Taira no Masakado still lingers in the city. He once rebelled against the emperor and was executed. His rage never faded. As Tokyo grew, his hatred stayed buried beneath it. The setting shifts to the year 1908. 2 onmyoji arrive in Tokyo. Yasumasa Hirai is a descendant of Abe no Seimei who wants to protect the city. Yasunori Kato is his opposite. He wants to destroy Tokyo to please his ancestors. Kato plans to awaken Masakato's vengeful spirit and use it as a weapon. He kidnaps Yukari Tatsumiya, a young woman with psychic powers, to use as a medium. Hirai tries to stop him, but Kato's dark plans continue as he tries to shake the land beneath Tokyo. His magic wakes the underground dragon that sleeps below the city. The tremors he causes leads to the Great Kanto earthquake of 1923. By 1927, Tokyo began to rebuild. A shrine maiden named Keiko Mikata appears to fight Kato. She carries Masakato's blessing and faces him deep below the city. A robot called Gakuten Soko destroys the heart of the underground dragon and breaks Kato's spell. Keiko uses divine power to end the curse and bring peace. The series ends with Tokyo's first subway opening. The city stands calm, but the scars of its past still remain. Vampire Princess Miyu, 1997 to 98. Vampire Princess Miyu stood out for its quiet sorrow and haunting tone. It has a narrative that's both gothic and deeply human. It's the story of a vampire named Miyu and her silent companion, Larva. Miyu is the daughter of a human and a Shinma, a race of dark spirits that feed on human souls. When she awakens as the guardian, she must hunt the stray Shinma that wander the earth and send them back to the darkness. Miyu appears to be a young girl, but her task is eternal. She moves through quiet towns and misty streets that mirror old Japan. Each place hides people who have given in to despair. The Shinma prey on that weakness and promise escape from pain. Miyu saves these souls, yet she also feeds on them to survive. Larva was once her enemy. Now he serves as her protector, bound by a curse and a shared sense of loss. Together, they face monsters born from human emotion. Each encounter forces Miyu to see how thin the line is between good and evil. She had the power to grant humans eternal peace, but she cannot share it herself. Trapped between two worlds, Miyu walks alone. Her story is built on the endless hunt that defines her existence. Mermaid's Forest, 1991. Mermaid's Forest and Mermaid Scar are part of Rumiko Takahashi's Mermaid Saga. Both explore the curse of immortality through the lives of Yuta and Mana. They are two wanderers who once ate mermaid flesh. This act granted them eternal life, but stole their peace. They move from place to place, searching for a way to become human once more. Mermaid's Forest tells Yuta's story and how he deals with his eternal life after eating that mermaid flesh. What seemed like a miracle soon becomes a curse. He's lived for centuries, searching for a way to become human again. During his journey, he meets Mana. She shares the same curse and joins him in his search. Together, they reach a lonely town where a family hides a terrible secret. The family has spent years trying to gain immortality by hunting mermaids. Their greed has turned them cruel and empty. Yuta and Mana are pulled into their violence and must face the horror that endless life brings. One scene that stands out is where Yuta discovers a woman who has eaten mermaid flesh but turned into a half-rotting creature, which sets the tone. You see what immortality really does when the body refuses to die, but the soul still breaks. That mix of sorrow and decay became a signature of dark fantasy in that era. Mermaid Scar, 1993. Mermaid Scar continues the tale of Yuta and Mana. They arrive in a small village that looks peaceful on the surface. The people there dream of living forever. When they discover Mana's secret, they turn against her. The village becomes a trap filled with fear and blood. There's a moment where the villagers try to cut into Mana's flesh, believing they can steal her immortality. The scene is quiet yet unbearable. You can hear every movement. The fear is real and personal. It's about the monster that greed makes inside people. Yuta fights to protect her as the truth behind their obsession comes to light. The story feels short but heavy. It shows how the wish to escape death can destroy the soul. Like Mermaid's Forest, it proves that immortality is not life but endless suffering. Bastard, 1992 to 93. Bastard was a 6-episode OVA that was based on Kazushi Hagiwara's manga. It brought together two things the creator loved: heavy metal and dark fantasy. The story takes place in a ruined world where humans fight to survive against beasts and dark magic. The kingdom of Metallicana was under attack by the Dark Rebel army. To protect her home, a priest's daughter named Yoko released a spell that freed Dark Schneider. He had been sealed inside a young boy named Lucian Renlin. The moment Yoko kissed him, the boy turned into a powerful sorcerer with a violent past. Dark Schneider was once the leader of the Dark Rebel army. He now fought against the very forces he had created. His goal was to stop the resurrection of Anthrasax, a demon goddess who had once destroyed the world. The story followed his brutal battles and his struggle between power and humanity. Each fight felt grand and reckless. Fire, steel, and spells filled the screen. Bastard carried the spirit of underground anime in the 90s. It became a cult classic that shaped how dark fantasy looked and felt in that decade. Pet Shop of Horrors, 1999. Pet Shop of Horrors came out in 1999 and stood apart from most dark fantasy anime of the decade. The story took place in Los Angeles, in Chinatown, where a mysterious man known only as Count D ran a strange pet shop. People came to the shop searching for rare animals or comfort for their loneliness. Count D offered them what they desired most. Each sale came with a contract that had 3 conditions. The rules were always simple yet absolute. Breaking any of them brought horrific consequences that could never be undone. Every episode told a different story. A grieving parent bought a creature that looked like their lost child. A lover found beauty in something that was never human. Each tale ended in tragedy or punishment for those who broke their promises. The pet shop never took responsibility. Count D simply smiled and reminded his customers that they were the ones who chose the bargain. Detective Leon Orcott tried to uncover the truth behind the pet shop. He believed Count D was using the place as a front for drugs or murder. Over time, he learned that what happened inside could not be explained by logic or law. The two formed a tense friendship built on curiosity and mistrust. Pet Shop of Horrors captured the quiet dread that defined underground anime in the 90s. Each episode left a scar and morphed human desire into horror. Ushio and Tora, 1992 to 93. Ushio Aotsuki lived at a temple that his father cared for. One day, he found a hidden cellar under the temple. Inside, he discovered a giant tiger-like demon named Tora trapped by a holy spear. The weapon was known as the Beast Spear, and it gave its user great strength, but slowly ate away at their soul. When Ushio touched the spear, the seal weakened. Monsters started to appear near the temple. With no other choice, he pulled the spear out and released Tora. The demon wanted to kill him, but the monster forced them to fight together. Their uneasy bond became the center of the story. Ushio fought for people with stubborn courage. Tora may have protested that he hated all humanity, but he still guarded what humans possessed behind closed doors. They fought against some incredibly strong yokai and ancient spirits that had been hanging around the area for centuries. The ultimate challenge was Hakumen no Mono, with the intention of destroying the world. Each fight tested Ushio's will and Tora's pride. The series showed how two enemies could find respect and purpose in each other. Shamanic Princess, 1996 to 98. Shamanic Princess carried the same tone as other dark fantasy works from the 90s. It was emotional and full of tragedy that fit the underground anime scene perfectly. The story follows Tiara, a shaman from the Guardian Realm. She was sent to Earth to recover a stolen talisman that once belonged to her. The thief was her former lover, Kagetsu. Tiara hid as a schoolgirl during the day and hunted for the talisman at night. Each fight brought her closer to the truth behind his betrayal. Tiara used ancient shamanic power to summon spirits and destroy monsters that stood in her way. When she finally reached Kagetsu, she found Lina, who was her old rival, standing by his side. This realization broke her trust and caused her to question her commitment. Tiara understood how love and loyalty could transform into something fundamentally dangerous. It showed how power could consume the one who sought it. Ninja Resurrection, 1997 to 98. Ninja Resurrection opened with Japan in turmoil. The Tokugawa shogunate had crushed the Shimabara rebellion and hunted down Christians across the land. The young leader of the uprising, Amakusa Shiro, was killed, but his spirit refused to die. His rage and grief turned him into something unholy. The swordsman Yagyu Jubei was chosen to stop his resurrection before Japan fell into chaos. The story follows Shiro from childhood. As a boy, he survived a gunshot because the bullet struck the crucifix he carried. People called him a miracle child and believed he was blessed by God. Years later, he led Christian rebels in one last stand at Harano Castle. His army fought with faith while the shogunate sent assassins and ninja to wipe them out. Jubei and his team entered the castle through deception and slaughtered the rebels in a brutal fashion. Shiro tried to protect women and children by sealing them inside a chapel with sacred power. The ninjas broke through. When Jubei confronted Shiro, he offered to take his own life to save the others. Soiken, his lieutenant, revealed he had murdered 2 children to awaken Shiro's fury. Shiro lost control due to being overwhelmed by hate and became a monster. He summoned a black dragon and fought Jubei in a fiery battle. Jubei struck him down and left the burning ruins behind, unaware that something darker had been born. Soiken used his daughter Ocho in a forbidden ritual called Makai Tensho to bring Shiro back as a vessel of Satan. The dead began to rise. Famous warriors like Inshin Hozoin and Matemon Araki returned as undead soldiers under Shiro's command. A blood moon lit the sky as Ocho's body twisted into Shiro's new form. The final scene showed the resurrected army tearing through a festival while the moon glowed red. It marked the start of Shiro's revenge and one of the most violent endings in 90s dark fantasy. Marvelous verdict! And that's a wrap on today's video. Dark fantasy in the 90s went to places few anime dared to explore. These shows were brutal and haunting, yet they carried real heart. They questioned faith and power. They showed what happens when people lose control of both. Many of them never reached a wide audience, but their ideas shaped the tone of darker anime that came after. You can still trace their spirit in the stories we see today. Which one of these forgotten titles stuck with you the most? Or is there another dark classic from the 90s that deserves more love? Let us know in the comments down below. We always enjoy hearing your picks, and who knows, maybe we'll make a video out of that next. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Otherwise, thanks for watching, stay safe out there, and have a marvelous day.